Say again on that.
Okay, let's see, people, on the second run round, see if it's a little bit better. If you can, please let us know in chat if we are a little bit better than we were before. So, I'm not going to go through that great big spiel again, but the White Walker, can you tell us once again, what are you on?
What am I on? Well, I won't say that, but no. Yeah, on the for sticking, Mesh Pro with some Soldier caramel cereal, which is basically space cake for some reason. Enforcer, Bonza 1.5 with some Yog Nature's Valley. And some, what's that fucking drink called? Umbungo.
Umbungo.
They drink it in the Congo.
That's the one, yep.
You have to make like noises as you say that.
Yeah, no, don't talk click.
No, don't click.
Don't talk with it, just play with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, I'll pass it over to Michele.
Hey, this is a very abbreviated version. Dull-Dime Clove. Bunch of old tins that are made into dull dimes, blah-bitty-blah, blah-bitty-blah, scootaloo. And I'll pass it on to MoBro.
MoBro looks about 12 guys. With that hat on.
I'm back again.
He really does.
It's one of them, you know when you actually get one of them hats, because I can't wear them, you know, them sort of hats. I'm back in the 80s, me. I need to, like, cup it.
Yeah, we're old folks. We need to curve our hats.
Yeah.
Because in my day, we didn't have no straight hats.
These little, I was going to say slapbacks, but they're not, aren't they? Is it slapbacks?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just like a shape. It's like a, you know what they call this in America? This would be called a dad hat. A dad hat is something with like a curve on it, but which is really fucking stupid as a description or definition. But you know, Mo's like hip with the flat brim.
What is it called? What are they called?
Doofusing?
No, them hats. What it's like what you've got. What are they called?
Like Mo's, that's just a snapback.
Snapback, that's the one. Snapback. Because they've got a bigger peak, haven't they?
Yeah, a bit like me. Right. Anyway, I'll do my what I'm vaping on. So I have the Tesla Invader 2.3 with a Bonza 1.5 on top. In there, I'm keeping it Bogan. I have Couron Cola from Bogan Brews. I've got the Rage with a recurve sitting on top. And in there, I have Red from Coil, which is a dark cherry and cola. So a bit of a cola kick there. And I have a Sprite on the go with some Element key lime cookie in there. And that is me for tonight.
Well, I got rid of 5 minutes, didn't it?
Yes.
What am I on? I'm on the Vapemon, which is it's quite nice. Let's have a little look at it.
Shiny.
Yeah, so it's a nice little mod from Vapemon. The tank I've got on there is the Free Max Mesh Pro with a little bit of acid drop in it. Absolute gorgeous stuff. This is one of these wireless charging mods. So you get your little plate like that, stick it on it, and it charges it.
Interesting.
Quite nice.
Is that a built-in battery?
No. It's you can put your own 18650s in it. And I tell you what, I was watching your show the other day with Ken. You were on about the difference between your batteries, the hit on them, and stuff like that. I've been using the 30Qs. The 30Qs, yeah. Yeah, the 30Qs. You know the Samsung.
Well, I mean, they're good batteries in a regulated mod because they have a lot of, I don't know how to say this properly. They pack a lot of milliamps.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something that's regulated, it's fine. What?
You did a little test, didn't you, in your box, and the difference...
Oh! I was showing off. I don't even remember which one now has the 20S's in it. and I on our previous attempt at this, I showed people, so I should know which one it is. One of my mods, maybe it'll be this one. I'll get lucky. Nope. So my mods, some of them have meters inside of them.
Yep.
You know, so what you're seeing on there is what the voltage is with the drop. You know, because depending on what resistance you're running, your batteries are going to sag more or less. So that's like with the sag. and I put a brand new pair of 5As in, and then do you want me to just show you?
Yeah, please.
All right. So we've got fully charged Samsung 20Ss, and then fully charged Sony VTC 5As. On top of it, we have a TAM24 with a 0.19 build in it. Might be 0.18. Don't hold me to that. So first, we'll run this with the VTC 5As, and my guess is we're gonna, with the voltage, so they're 4.2 right now. With the voltage drop, my guess is like 3.7.
Okay. You want far off?
What did it say?
3.62.
Okay, so that's with VTC 5As, and they hit great.
Yep.
Then my buddy James motherfucking Franklin, who some of you may know from the Ohmies. No cursing, right? That's never going to work with me. Anyway, he had been telling me how great these things hit. Now, these are not 2500 mAh batteries, though. The Sony VTC 5As are. These are 2000 milliamp batteries. So you give up life, but you get the amp. You know, these things are, 30 amp batteries? Yeah, these are 30 amp batteries.
And the other ones were what?
25. Yeah, I mean, so like I'm comparing them to basically great batteries. And again, these are unregulated. If you're in with a regulated mod, just, get whatever, the maximum amount of milliamps that you can get, because you don't need to worry as much about the amp limits within reason. I'm not saying get like crappy Chinese batteries. All right, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, I just popped in the 20Ss. I'll get this to focus if I can, and then you guys will tell me what it says.
38.1.
Okay, so 3.6 to 3.8. Or probably so this is literally hitting 0.15 volts harder, and you feel that. That's not an amount that's like, where you're questioning, you're vaping on like a brass mech and a copper mech, and you which one hits harder, and this is right there. Those are the numbers. So again, if you're using a mechanical box, something unregulated, 20Ss are great batteries to go with. Regulated, those 30 Qs are great.
The less battery life, but the more amps.
Yeah, so you get a much better hit. So the higher that amp limit, the less voltage sag they're going to have when they get hit with that resistance. But again, regulated mods, none of that applies.
No.
So 30 Qs are what, 3,000 milliamps each?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great batteries.
Do you know if you put that in bypass mode, does it change anything either?
No, because it's still going through all the regulators and all that.
Yeah.
Very few are actually bypass modes, like true bypass. You'd have to actually have like a mechanical switch that changed the wiring or something like that to be true. But no, you're fine.
Yeah, I was watching one of your live feeds on Instagram when you were welding soldering the MOSFETs. That looks fiddly.
It's really fiddly, But
how did you actually get into all of this sort of stuff? We're doing your own mods and that.
I mean, it's kind of who I am. I mean, I'm a musician. I'm an artist. So that's like in my nature. And many years ago, when there was first talk about, basically the possibility of losing vaping in the U.S., I was just like, well, I'm going to become self-sufficient, and I started DIYing juices. And then I actually just started DIYing mods, but I didn't want to just build this is kind of a traditional mod, but not traditional in the sense that I had a friend with a CNC machine milled out this piece of mahogany for me, and then I did a lot of finish sanding and all that. But this is still kind of a traditional box.
Yeah.
And I just the first one I actually made, which is in Grim Green's hands, was a Curad tin like this, and it was just a matter of how can I make that 100-year-old tin into a mod, and I just figured it out, And I do think
amazing. Some of them I've seen.
Thank you. This is probably my favorite right now. I had built Kent with Twisted Messes a PWM dual dime a while back, and I didn't once it was done. Every mod that I build, I usually use for about a week or so, just to make sure that when I send it out to the person, they're going to have literally zero problems.
Yeah.
And so when I made that one for Kent, I was loving the PWM. And so I actually ended up making myself one after that because I like it. Plus, I also love that in true PWM fashion, you guys, everyone, shh for a second. Wait till you hear this thing sing.
Yeah.
That's a PWM mod. You know, if you have something with like a little potentiometer and you're like, oh, it's PWM, and you don't hear it singing, it's probably not. I mean, there are quieter ones, granted, but they all sing. And that's one of the best parts about them. And I lost track of what you were asking me.
American Pickers. Did you ever watch that American Pickers where they go out to different places and they go and find old little boxes and stuff?
Yep.
It sort of reminds me of that sort of thing, you know, like you're obviously using the old pill boxes and the things that have had mints in, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It really does.
Thank you.
And to have, I don't even know where to start. Would you be able to do that, Mike?
No. To be
Have you ever
blunt.
thought of doing it like that? Because obviously you're massively into your mechs.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be able to build my own stuff, but I just don't have the patience to do all that soldering and that.
Is there anybody in chat? Please let us know if you're sort of into that, or you're thinking about maybe having a little bit of a try. We all know Jay, who's from the Vape UK network. He does a little bit like that. But anybody who puts their hand to stuff like that, you can see you're that type of lady who's into having a good fiddle.
Somebody just wrote, those 20S's are the dog danglers. Just got my hands on a few. I've never heard dog danglers. I love that.
Just the cupping. It's the cupping.
Yeah.
So
Michele,
yeah, just going back to what I'm actually vaping on. Obviously, I did the Vape Mon, which came in for review. I'm also trying the Vim from Jack Vapor, Scottish company, UK. Make sure you support them. I'm loving the Mini Vim. It's the Wee Vim. It's a nice little 1 ohm coil you can get on them. You can get a 0.5 on them as well. You can use the tank, what comes with the big Vim on it. Really do like that. They've got some different types of flavours, but they're also getting them in with a set of companies all like Nasty Juice and stuff like that to get their own different pods and different flavours coming in. I've got the Ringcore X with the, excuse me, I had a drink of my vodka. With the, I always say, is it Creasis? Is it right? Is Creasis right?
No.
Who did
Not sure.
This is the Tony B, the stacked. Is it Creasis?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm terrible with like new products.
It's Creasis. I always say Creasis. I'm probably wrong. But it's a stack from Tony B. My brother's just called that up for me as well, solo. I'm enjoying that with a little bit of, what have I got in that? Oh, I've got some Nova Vapes, which I've left somewhere. A bit of the grape on that. Then another Runcon one, which is the one just below it, with their mesh core tank on there. I've got some major flavours. Anybody who was at Expo, remember the little tiny guys at the beginning. Major flavours need you. I've got a bit of that on there. And then I have got the top side, which I'm proper loving. I love this to death. And some from Dr. Salts have come out with like a beer range, which you'll love, Mo. Cider, rum, stout, beer. So reviews coming up for that soon. And I'm on the cider. This stuff tastes beaut. Proper apple. Really enjoying it. So yeah, with the nudge on top. So I've been enjoying that.
Nice.
So, what have we got? Anybody got any news? Anybody got anything that we should be talking about? Nice and silent. I love it. As soon as Nick's not here, we sort of, what are we going to talk about?
I know. Like honestly, if Nick was on the show, like I love playing off of Nick, but yeah, he's too busy pooping in the toilet. So
yeah, he's sat down there looking after his curry that he had last night. Don't worry about it. We will sort stuff out. Obviously, we haven't spoke to you about the FDA and everything that came out of your end. We spoke quite a lot about it last week. We'd like to know what your opinion of everything that happened last week.
Honestly, it's not about vaping. None of this is about vaping. You know, this is about corporations who don't want their profit margins to be cut even slightly, and they don't care about people's health. They don't care about human life. All they care about is, you know, bottom line for their stockholders. And what happens is you've got, you know, big pharma, which in the US has just way too much control. They have way too many politicians in their pockets, and they get to basically pass laws. And so it's a trickle down. the FDA is simply, a little finger of big pharma, and they're just basically trying to end vaping for everyone is what their ultimate goal is. And they're kind of taking like a multi-pronged approach to this, hitting us with these completely random truth ads, which convey vaping like it's going to cause worms in your brain. Like there's zero logic to anything that's being done right now. But on a kind of a more simple level, and more like what probably Nick was talking about last week, because I got to be honest, I tuned into Savs like as you guys were signing off last week. I'm like, fuck.
We had a great show last week. Obviously, we had Jared on, and we also had Vaping with
I know you had one of my co-panelists on the show, and I fucking missed it. I did go back and rewatch it, but it's not the same when you went without live chat. It really isn't. Live chat makes these shows.
They do, yeah.
But some of the talk was, jewels being sold in convenience stores, not being sold in convenience stores, and my take is not necessarily a very popular one, because I feel like if they're going to sell tobacco cigarettes in a convenience store, then they should also sell a vaping equivalent. So someone can get their vape, but I don't think that a convenience store needs to have multiple flavors. And if the FDA wants to limit convenience stores to only selling tobacco flavored, I'm also fine with that. But there should be no limits on flavors sold from online sales, sold from, brick and mortars, just plain old vape shops. There's just no point of it. There is an issue of carding people to make sure that they're old enough to use these products. And that's becoming a very big deal. However, kids are buying cigarettes in convenience stores who are underage. I don't hear any bullshit about that. Kids are still getting into bars, and the drinking age across the U.S. is 21, and I guarantee you there's people that are 21 or under drinking at bars. So it's very hypocritical. They want to crack down that God forbid vapors who are underage could get vaping products, and I don't want them to, because it's bad for the vape community as a whole. However, the truth is, if you have a child and that as a child or as a teenager they're going to be drinking and smoking and doing all kinds of shit, because we all do it, and I don't care how good of a parent you are, they're still going to do it. I had great parents, and I still smoked weed like it was going out of style. But I would rather have my kid vaping underage than drinking or smoking underage. Again, not a popular opinion, and I realize that.
No, I think it's a proper opinion. We all know that what we were like when we were kids. We did say last week about how much it cheesed me off that you obviously got these mothers against vaping and stuff. And she was sat down there saying that her son had been online, so how did he pay for it and stuff like that? You need to be checking your own children. But they're all going to be trying different stuff. And you're not going to stop it. So I'd rather them vape than smoke. What's your thought, methyl heroin, Mo?
What, an underage vaping?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the lesser of the two evils, really. Like, yeah. if somebody's going to be doing what they shouldn't be doing underage, then it's obvious you'd rather them go for the better, healthier option. So it goes without saying, Mike, fuck off. It goes without saying, if I was to have children of my own and they were at that age, sort of 16, 17 or whatever, young, maybe a couple of years younger, I would definitely rather they vape than smoked, because that smoking kills and vaping is a massive harm reduction. So if I had the choice, I would rather catch them with a vape in their hand than a cigarette. That's my stance on it.
I mean, that's exactly how I feel. But you realize at the same time, people in the U.S. are going to be like, no, don't say that, because basically we're afraid that the FDA is going to use everything against us. Mm-hmm. But I feel exactly as MoBro does. I mean,
don't get me wrong. In an ideal world, kids wouldn't vape, kids wouldn't smoke.
Exactly, yeah.
But that's a world that doesn't exist.
And the
literally
world.
It's fantasy world.
It's about time the FDA realised that we live in a real world.
Yeah, they've got to be more realistic about people's lives and stuff and what habits people do have, rather than worrying about their own pockets.
They say shit like, but we're worried about the kids. We're worried about the teenagers. If they were worried about the teenagers, then they would be doing a lot more on the opioid epidemic that we have in our country.
Well,
because kids are dying from that, literally dying. My son, where my son is buried, there's a boy who went to high school with him buried right next to him. My son was a senior when he passed. This boy was a freshman in college. He was 1 year ahead of my son. He got addicted to oxycodone or codone, whatever, in high school. Couldn't afford it when he got to college and started doing heroin, and he overdosed. I mean, it's a real fucking problem.
Yep. Well, you've got other states with other problems where they've took benefits away and stuff like that, where they were getting sort of help with addiction, and now people are on different, cheaper drugs.
Yeah, Trump's ended quite a few health plans, especially for the poorer folks of our society. Like just in the state where I live, for people that don't know, I live in Philadelphia, which is in the state of Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, we had for many, many years a program that helped, impoverished young mothers with children. So these are children that are living at the poverty level and don't have health care, and the state would provide free health care for the kids. Because, I mean, first of all, we are not a Christian nation. Our country was founded on religious freedom, but there's a lot of Christians here. And I think it's a pretty Christian idea to support, children without health care, right? Trump came into office, that shit went away. Gone.
Well, the other trouble as well, there was giving, by what I've been watching on the documentaries and stuff, there was giving out, especially in the 80s, to women who were having problem with children and stuff like that, Valium. It were a big thing that they were giving out there for him to cope with day to day. And then all of a sudden they stopped stuff. And then they went on to different types of drugs, painkillers and stuff.
This has been going on for probably a century. Back in the 50s, all the mothers, all the little housewives were on what's that stuff that looks like a diet pill? It like speeds up your heart rate, speeds up everything, but it will give you a fucking heart attack. The moms were on that. Moms were on all kinds of things like Valium. Our country loves to prescribe things. And again, this goes back to what I started the conversation with. It's about corporate fucking money. Sorry, I don't mean to be like a downer right now, but it's
not a downer.
It's depressing, dude, because it's like I don't see anything that's going to change it. We keep getting politicians in office that are even more owned by corporations. At this point, our politicians ought to wear fucking like badges and shit on their jackets, like a fucking stock car does, with their sponsors, because they're all so heavily sponsored to get elected in this country.
But you've still got like little, what you'd call little, like sort of villages or towns that are still strewn across that haven't really, how can I explain, not been hit by mainstream life. Does that make sense? I think at one point that would be true, but with the internet now, it's hard to find anywhere that doesn't, I mean, yeah, we've got some podunk towns, but everyone's got internet. Yeah, I've spoken to a few people, especially over the internet from America, and they are still small towns, sort of, everybody knows each other. You haven't had an influx of loads of other people around who you don't know. And they know everybody who's dying, like you said yourself, people who are having so much hardship and they've had help in other ways, and now it's all been took away. Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have, you can argue all the merits of social health care versus, this fucking paid industry that we have in our country, and which is better and this and that. But the bottom line is there's a lot of fucking people that are lower middle class and poor in our country. And the divide between the ultra rich and us is just growing. And the bottom line is, there's a lot of people that can't afford medical insurance. And then when they get sick, they literally can't go to the doctor. So I don't care how good or bad you think, one system is over the other. The bottom line is that you guys, if you're sick, can go and get health care.
Yeah.
But that should be a human right, not a fucking privilege.
But the whole point of that, though, was that it was paid for by myself, my granddad, their granddad, and it was built for your own country. It wasn't built for somebody to come over and abuse our way of doing it. I was so shocked talking to Nick. What is it, about £400 a month for healthcare?
Oh, yeah. It's expensive as shit. And then you go to the doctor. Your copay is like $80 to $100 out of pocket. you know, and half the time they send you another bill saying that wasn't enough, and then you have to argue with the insurance company. I mean, it's a fucking nightmare. It really is. So if anyone tells you, oh, America's got the best healthcare in the world, fuck that. We have the wealthiest healthcare in the world.
Exactly what you were saying before it, which is this, if obviously you suddenly get people going on to vaping, which then cuts down health problems. I know myself, I got a cold for the first time, probably in about a year and a half, the last couple of weeks. And it didn't half hit me bad, and it came from the kids, or I've gone to a different type of job. And I think I've got it from there. But it's the first time I've had it for about a year and a half. You know, because I've stopped smoking. You won't believe how I got picked up colds and stuff like that. So if you imagine it in your country, stop picking up colds, stop picking up cancer, stop picking up other things to do with smoking.
Yeah. Their profits will be diminished if people are not sick. You know, I mean, I know that sounds all tinfoil hattish, but you know what? At some point you have to realize that a lot of those tinfoil hat people are right. I am not siding with flat earthers, though. That's a bridge way too fucking far for me. You know, but sorry.
There was an old bloke I used to play snooker with, right? Years and years ago. I would have been like early 20s. And he used to sit down there and say, do not ever believe that you're not being controlled. I says, what do you mean? He says, here you go. Take washing machines. He says, when I was a kid, when you bought a washing machine, that washing machine would last you 20 odd years.
Yeah.
He says, you know, if you buy a washing machine now, you're lucky if you get it lasts for 2 years. I said, well, I can't. What do you mean? He says, well, do you think about it? If you get a washing machine that's going to last 20 years, they're going to be able to sell you the next model, are they?
Exactly.
Sort of snap you into it.
The use of plastic parts inside of, you know, things like that have decreased the longevity of a lot of items, but they save money using plastic rather than metal. And they also, you know, damn well in their corporate meetings, they're sitting there talking, well, we don't want it to last that long. So, I mean, exactly. You know, it's not profitable if they build a machine that runs 20 years.
You're not going to make that extra bit of money.
People are greedy. Oh, my God, I got my Philly brother in our chat. Philly Vape 215. John's brother.
What's your thoughts on the sort of mod side of it? You know, the warranties that we get. Most of them are like 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, I get it because, you know, a lot of people abuse the living crap out of their mods, and they're mods. They should be. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I mean, if you're going to, you know, continue to throw, you know, batteries in with crappy wraps on them, or you're not even going to bother to like blow out your 510 before you put another Addy on there to, God forbid, there's like a little clipping of a wire in there, you're going to short out your mod. I mean, so, I mean, if I was mass producing mods, I wouldn't offer some giant warranty on them because there's too much shit that'll go wrong. Now, my mods that I do make have what I call my lifetime warranty. If you break it and I'm alive, I'll fix it for you. You know, so as long as I'm on this planet, I'll fix your mod. But you know, it's a much different thing than you're talking about. You know, so I mean, I think you should be able to expect a mod to run for 6 months. You know, I mean, if you can take care of it, it'll last forever. But the thing is, the Chinese companies are putting out a new fucking product every goddamn week, though. That's the problem.
What's your thought, MoBro?
Say again, sorry.
Sorry,
I was reading.
Show, dude. I didn't know.
No, I was reading an article. I was.
Yeah, I was just saying about the what you actually get on a mod. You know, the warranty.
The warranty. Yeah. Well, like I used to work in a vape shop, and we do like when we sell a mod, we do like a 30-day guarantee. After that, it would be if there was a problem, we'd return it back to the shop. We'd send it back off to, you know, the distro or the company that creates the mod. But the only thing that I found would be the biggest complaint with, as far as warranties go, is the USB charger ports. Like putting them in the wrong way or jiggling them about, bending the cable, putting it down like that. That was the only thing that we wouldn't cover in our 30-day warranty would be the charger port, because they just...
Because obviously you should be telling them and pushing them towards, maybe you should be getting their own standalone charger.
Oh, yeah, that's only if it's LiPo mods.
LiPos.
Yeah. Built-in batteries. But, like, I don't know, like Michele said, a lot of people batter the shit out of their mods. You know, a lot of people, they'll get out the car and they'll drop it or something like that. But, you know, how far do you go when it comes to a warranty? If it's a manufacturing default, that's a totally different story. Like, what company was it? Was it Wismec? I think had the pop-in 510.
Yeah,
510s
it was Wismec. The 510s were popping out.
But did they do a recall on those?
It was on this mod, except this is like the upgraded version. I had the first one and the second, but this was an EVIC. What is this? An EVIC Primo.
Yes.
And the 510s were popping out. This is the upgraded 510.
I mean, to be honest, the warranty that you get on the vaping equipment ain't worth a wank in a biscuits in.
No.
Because to be perfectly honest, you take a mod back to a shop, right? 9 times out of 10, the shop will exchange it for a replacement product. But when that shop sends that item back to the manufacturer, 9 times out of 10, they will not get refunded.
Oh, really?
They'd probably get another product.
Yeah.
They will not get the money back for that faulty product. So the warranty.
I was unaware of that.
Effectively, the shop is being held liable for that manufacturer's warranty, which is wrong.
Yeah, I think you've got. I think it's 28 days, isn't it? If it goes back to the actual vendor, I think then once it's sent back to them, they would end up getting either a credit note or whatever to put to their next order.
Yeah,
MoBro, about right?
Yeah, it's about right. So long, like our returns policy was, so long as you've got the box, it doesn't matter if you're missing the USB cable or, user manual or something. So long as you've got the device and the box with a receipt, then we can exchange it for you. 9 times out of 10, if we've got the same product in stock, we do a straight swap. If we haven't, then it'd be take it back to the manufacturer, and then they would sort it out from there. But
so
there's one particular company. There's one particular company. I'm not going to say who it was, but for nearly, I'm being deadly serious. For nearly every 10 mods that were sold, 7 of them were returns.
Oh.
And I'm not going to mention what company it was.
Why you don't work in the shop anymore, or are they sending you stuff?
No, it's a company manufacturer of mods. Everyone, when they get them in for review, they're like, "Oh no, not another one." That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think we already knew.
We already knew that.
Yeah.
It's the same as when the paint comes. I can't understand why they know that the paint's flaking.
But they've re-released Alien, didn't they?
Yeah.
They sorted the paint out on that because the first batch was really bad.
Yeah, it's an alien. They're not calling it an alien, but it's a fucking alien.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should probably divide this up because you know what? If you're buying a Chinese, relatively inexpensive mod, you shouldn't expect it to last forever if you're going to manhandle it. No. But if you're buying a high-end mod, like my friend Vapor Swaggins, he just bought one from Ruby Roo and her husband Josh, one of those Colorado Aspen mods. No bells. It's like a handmade $425 mod. Yeah, that one you're going to expect a warranty on. But so it's kind of apples and oranges, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we've got the man who tests a hell of a lot of mods as well. I love watching his reviews.
Daniel.
DJLSD, absolute fantastic bloke. He obviously tests them from the battery up, doesn't he?
I love that he rips those things apart too. Yeah, for years I've been watching his videos, and that's my favorite part.
I'd say as well is his actual quality of like pictures and stuff like that have been absolutely fantastic, haven't they?
Oh my god, he's shooting at like 4K or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you seen his camera rigs?
Movie.
Yeah.
He's got about 17 cameras. They're all dangling from the ceiling, and they're fucking coming in this way, that way. It's got little remote control things. Crazy, man, that equipment he's got.
Michele, do you do any reviewing yourself? I've not seen you. Have you done bits of reviewing, or is it just building?
I'm not a reviewer. Honestly, I'm just a modder, I guess, when it comes to vaping. I love building mods, and I like giving them away, which is like the worst business model ever, but that's not what I'm about, I wish my music got the attention that my vaping stuff does, though. That would be great. I think we're all a lot harder to make it in the music industry.
It is, yeah.
Sorry, did I even answer your question? I don't know.
So MoBro and obviously Mike, you both do reviews. Do you find it very hard now and again to have to try and keep up with these sort of people. You know, obviously, you got your Vix, you've got DGLSB. Everybody's getting a little. I snorted then. You're getting a little bit more high end, 4K. Everything's looking bright and breezy, and we're sat down there with the Logitech 920.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Does that make a difference, or is it the content?
I don't try and keep up with anyone. I just do what I can.
Yeah, well, I'm just breaking into the hardware. Like I did the table cam stuff for the Bonza 1.5 today. That Smock is done. Like I've done a load of table cam work today, but like I'm just starting out in the hardware because it's been. I know no one watches my shit anyway, but it's been mainly juice. But I'm just breaking into the hardware stuff now. But as far as keeping up with other reviewers, I really, really wish that I started on YouTube back in 2015 when I started reviewing, because I used to do them live on Facebook. I would have been a lot further now and a lot more, you know, out there sort of thing. But like I said, just coming into hardware. So as far as keeping up, I just do my own thing. You guys know that I've got like other personal stuff that I have to do, as well as fitting in my 8 till 6 job. But yeah, it's like as and when sort of thing.
Sorry, can I get a wrench so that I can post the link?
Yeah.
In the chat? Sorry, I'm sorry.
Aiden, I think you'll have to do that, will you?
It's that small Mike's little side. I ain't got a clue how to do a wrench. They don't allow me stuff like that. Just let me stream it and.
Or maybe Mama Jules can post my Bandcamp link. It's just michelelynn.bandcamp.com.
Go check Michelle out. But you get in there. It's a lot different, the review scene, than when I first started, which was 2 years ago. Obviously, I've been casting for a little bit longer. It smells different. Yeah. It's everybody in the dog's doing it now.
But I'm starting to nail my table work now. Like the focus on the Bonza 1.5, the focus is on point. So that review will be up tomorrow night.
Could never do table cam, and particularly I didn't want to do it. I took it from Twisted. When ages and ages, stuff coming in, could never be able to do the table stuff. So I went like the Twisted sort of side of it. You know, where you sort of show it in between the way you do it.
Yeah, I like what you do on your videos. Like you'll talk a bit about, say, the deck, and then you'll bring up a picture of the deck, or a close-up video of the deck as you're doing your voiceover. It works really well, dude. Fair play.
It was the only way I could ever do it. It was the only way I could ever do it. That's gonna no, it hasn't showed up. And it was hard work because obviously you got my brother Solo, who's fantastic. The reviews, the way he does everything. And I just couldn't do it. Just could not do it. And you had to do.
But not everybody does table cam. Not everybody does table cam.
Majority of them do table cam. Do you not find? Do you not find it is
a lot of people do? Yeah, but like the way you do it is different, and it works. It does work.
How are you finding getting? It is one for Mike. How are you finding getting the sort of mojo to be able to do your reviews? See, Vic's just released a video of what goes behind the scenes of actually doing a review. Do you sometimes lose your mojo? You know, like you can't be asked to do it. And what about you, Mike?
Yes, to be honest, you get some kind of block, and you think, or I do anyway. Occasionally, I'll just think to myself, I'll record something, I'll watch it back after I've done the editing of that, and I'll just delete it because after watching it, I'll just think, what the fuck was that? And then
I've done that now and again.
And you know, I mean, at the moment, I haven't been uploading anything because I've got a lot of other stuff going on at the moment. Obviously, people know that Mum's just come out of hospital and everything. Yeah. So I'm concentrating more on making sure she's all right before I get back to it again. But you know, it's one of those things. You get a mental block on what you're talking about. I mean, quite often I'll record something, and I know what I want to say, and I know what message I want to get across, but I'm stuttering like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I do that quite a lot. I go, and I have to re-record to say, fucking hell, I can't put that in. It's shit. Half of the video is just,
That's why you do those little jump cuts.
How many takes do you do then, each of you?
Yeah, see, I don't do jump cuts. I record everything in one take.
I don't do jump cuts. I'm on about how many takes.
The most I've done so far is 9 takes.
You're lucky.
Well, With my Bonza 1.5, I did 7 takes today because my phone kept ringing. Halfway through, I was 8 minutes into table cam, or just finishing up table cam, doing the build, and the fucking phone went. I was like, I got to record it all again.
I can do between 50 and 100 takes.
Man, alive.
From starting, because you can think how fast I talk.
Yeah,
and the way I come across on my reviews, I can start off, ramble away, and then all of a sudden my brain starts going off onto a tangent about nothing. You think, I don't like that. So then you'll click it, stop it, and then start again.
But do you guys have to, like, I know Vic's in chat now, but before Vic had his office, he used to do all his recording in a bedroom. So he would say he'd have to take sort of like an hour to set up his soft boxes, his cameras, his this, that, and the other. Do you guys have your own, like I do, my own like office where I do my shit?
I've got like a mini little studio myself.
Yeah, yeah.
My reviews are done from where I'm sitting now, which is in my bedroom.
Yeah, I know that. I do watch your stuff, but I mean, do you have to set everything up ready, like lighting-wise or anything like that?
No, but the only thing I have to do is clear the tabletop off. Because, I mean, I'm not going to show you what my tabletop's like at the moment, but it looks like Steptoe and Son's junkyard.
Yeah, it all happens that way.
Steptoe in a what?
For table cam stuff, it takes me around about half an hour, 45 minutes to get everything set up ready for table cam. Because it's not, as you see now, I've got to set up a separate table. I've got to set up my tripod, move my camera from where it is down to here, face it down, change all my lighting around, especially for the table cam stuff. So I'm not picking up any dodgy reflections or the light bouncing off. Yep. So like to get it nailed, I'll do like a record, test sound with the microphone and stuff. Then I'll play a little bit back, and then I'll go, like, once everything's sweet and golden, I'm good to go.
Well, that's smart, so that you don't end up recording like something really well and then go back and like, oh god damn it, the audio was off.
Yeah.
You know what? I've actually done a full review and not even pressed start.
Oh,
I've done that. I've done that once.
And it's normally the best review you've ever done. You've cracked it straight away. First one, you think, yes, and then I haven't pressed start.
But I will be having a bloopers reel coming out very soon. So
yeah, I don't save the bloopers.
Mate,
I do. I've got loads. I did one about 7 months back. You want to check out the other one. Right, just a little bit more content that we could maybe talk about. Michele as well. There was on about so many months ago about the risk of different toxic metals that are actually in your vape.
Yeah, but I think that was... I think the test itself was flawed, was it not?
Yeah, it was John Hopkins University study. I
mean, they were basically burning coils, to the point that no one would be vaping at. And at that point, yes, microscopic amounts of metals were coming off, but it was something that it would like never actually happen in real life. And the amounts that were coming off are present in air that we breathe. So, like the whole test was flawed.
Do you find that there's a lot of these tests that are exactly the same?
Follow the money.
Right, are they?
Follow the money. You got to figure who's paying for that test to be done.
They were saying about they did like the old clearomisers with the wick that used to drop down. That they took 1,000 drags from it. Who would take 1,000 drags from that?
Yeah, they were dry burning it, weren't they?
Yeah,
saying about stuff that was released from the wicks. But
I saw another mission, like it was like somebody had made like a test bed. It might have been for that. I forget exactly which one of the bogus reports it was, but they set up this test bed. With a very simple atomizer on it, and the thing was hitting it like every fucking 10 seconds. They weren't ever letting it cool at all, so it was getting extra hot, and dry hits, and it was flawed. But I think it was also flawed because there weren't vapors involved in the testing, or maybe they were, and they just wanted to have certain results. Who knows? But
it was continuously being breathed for 24 hours.
Yeah, call bullshit.
Yeah,
right fucking there, Graham.
Something doesn't add up.
24 hours doing the same things. But we breathe about 17,000 sounds a day. So what's that? Vapors puff their atomizer a few hundred times a day. But they were breathing it like 17,000.
I mean, probably on an average day, probably about 400 or 500 puffs a day I'll go through.
My mods don't exactly count, but I would say I'm probably around there. There's no way I'm at 17,000.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, when you've got the coils on that, I can understand if you use your coils for quite some time, you're going to get some of what they call leaching from the coils into the juice. I can understand that side of things, but not to the extent that it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, the bit you've got to be worried about is obviously, you know, when you clean your coils, give them a good old scrape and you get all that sort of black stuff off them.
Yep.
Excuse me, I'm still getting over from cold.
We've got power plants and refineries in this country leaching shit into the fucking soil, into the water basin, and like literally making towns sick. But vaping's an issue. It's priorities, man.
When you actually rub them all off, you make sure it's clean, don't you? You don't leave them little bits in there, do you?
No.
No, I'm not being funny. I don't actually clean coils. I just replace them. My coils are in my atomizers no more than 3-4 days, and they get changed again.
Oh, mine don't.
Yeah, I vape simple round wire coils that are spaced, and I will pull the cotton, and I'll take. Hold on.
No, I don't. But
Take a bristle brush.
My coils come in there 3 weeks, easy.
Yeah, if I'm doing like a load of juice reviews, I'll just take the wicks out. I'll take the wicks out between liquids. I've got one of these Coil Master wire brushes, the little wire brushes. Use that. I flash the coils, get all the shit off, so they're back to sparkling again.
What do you do when you're done cleaning them? You should rinse.
Yeah.
Everything off.
Yeah, I do rinse. Yeah, I do.
Then
yeah.
You're good.
But if you're sat down here and you've got, say, 2 tanks or 3 mods, excuse me, to test, then you're not like constantly vaping on one thing.
No.
3 weeks easy if you clean them properly.
Yeah, I had a pair of Shane's coils, the big boy coils.
Yep.
I had the Mech Aliens, and they lasted me, bloody hell, from new. I think I changed them a day before Expo, and that was got to be 2 or 3 months. I think it was 2 or 3 months, and they were still golden. You know, I flashed them.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put a bit more of a battery saving build in there, ready for the Expo. You know, because walking around vaping, talking.
In chat, please tell us. Everybody in chat, tell us how long you leave your coils in, and be honest about it. I can like a bit like Vic. I've got stuff that I've left in months.
Yeah, my coils, because they're so simple and I keep them cleaned. I mean, they do last months.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Vic's just said he's left a set in for 9 months now.
If you clean
never do that,
and they glow up lovely, there's no point in changing them. Obviously, you've got to change your wick every week. I change my wick every week.
But you also can't clean the type of coils that you guys are like. If you're vaping on like an Alien, good luck cleaning that and not fucking it up. You know, that's the thing. I mean, it's a lot easier for me to really clean a round wire build compared to a fancy build.
No, honestly, Aliens, no matter what, even if it's a plain old round wire build.
What about like Staples?
Every 3-4 days.
Oh, you don't even bother.
Not. Oh, what are they called?
I got tricore fused Claptons in my Bonza 1.5, and they vape beautifully.
Yeah.
And the NI80 ones, really
Why do I
nice.
call them Optimus Primes in my head, and they're not?
There are Optimus Primes.
Yeah, but no, it's not the ones they begin with a T.
From the chat, it looks like we've got a couple people that said months, 3 weeks to a month, around 3 days. Biscuit vapes. Purely because I love building, he says.
He does, yeah. Biscuit Vapes is a big shout out to your brother. He gives me loads of coils. He's a local lad, literally lives down the road. He's a lovely bloke.
Bronco Mark says 3 to 6 months or more.
What am I thinking of?
Don't do that. As soon as my coils look like they're starting to get black, they're straight out the RDA and in the bin.
Yeah, but it's like now. We did these coils at Expo on the Nudge. Took them out, cleaned them. Oh, you're not going to be able to see that. I've got no focus. Cleaned them. They're like brand new.
Wait, is that a new coil, MoBro?
No. Oh, you're about MoBro.
Do you guys have ultrasonic cleaners?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just toss them in there.
Yeah, I do. I'll leave them actually in the RDA.
That is a juggernaut.
That's what I'm thinking of. Juggernaut.
If I can get it to focus.
There you go.
It's kind of focused.
Come on.
It's a very thin juggernaut, though, that isn't it?
That's not going to fucking thing.
What
To
I
me,
think, here, hold on. We're going
to
to show
me
off
that is
Coil.
starting to look like it needs to be replaced.
I think it's going to leak everywhere when I try to do this.
Ooh.
All three, nice.
Nice.
No, there's actually
6.
4 coils.
I want to get that dripper that has like 12 posts in it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Is it from
That one that we were looking at last week, I think it was.
What's it called?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. I really want to get it though. You'd need a bit. You need something big for not to have any overhang though.
Just
You
couldn't
need a
be
hammer of
arsed to
God or
Coil,
something.
though. Just could not be arsed.
It's
Just
good.
what
It'd be
type
good
of
fun.
vapor I am. It's like my brother come today, solo, and that keys one, the stacked mead doing.
Yeah.
He loves doing it. I went, there you go. You know, what do you mean? I went and got it because he has his own glasses here. Here you go, get your glasses, come and do that for me. And I don't like it. I just like, get it stuck in, get it done, and you're all right.
What coils do you find is the worst for spitback then? If you're
They're
using like
twisted.
extravagant coils.
Twisted coils like to spit.
Yeah, they do, yeah. But also it's got to do with your wicking on it, really.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I mean,
If
when I
it's
wick my
too-
coils, the cotton is ridiculously tight, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Again, it all depends what you're actually wicking. You know, like if
Yeah,
you've
that's
got,
true.
Something like a lot of people don't like them. The Wasp Nano. I love the Wasp Nano. I use it for all me reviews because it's very simple. It's single coil, but you've got to make sure you wick that quite right. It's the same as the True Tank. You know, the mouth to lung tank that's out. You've got to make sure you wick that properly.
Yeah.
Have you had that yet, Mike?
No.
No.
Oh, you know, Stu brings up in chat a good point. It depends on how many different setups you're using. Yeah, I get a lot of time out of my coils because, yeah, I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah, I'm saying
6 addies that I'm vaping at the same time generally. So you're right. If I wasn't, it probably would not last as long.
Yeah, I gotta put a build in this. It's gonna be fun. The Serpent Elevate. The deck is tiny on this thing.
Wait, can I see that again? Mo?
Matt Suck, my mod RTA.
Okay.
The lighting's quite poor.
Is it a dual coil?
Yeah.
So it's just a really small little deck then.
Yeah, look how small that is.
Oh, yeah.
It's tiny. So small.
Wait, that's a single coil.
I love single coil.
Yeah, it is single coil. Sorry,
Yeah.
single coil, yeah.
I mean,
So-
I guess you could put 2 coils in there if you really wanted, but
Yeah,
they're
you
very
can.
small.
Yeah, you can get 2 in there.
Have you noticed that all these
I'll
sort
try.
of like new stuff that's coming out from reviewers, Mike Vapes, something like Mod, all the actual things now are just like curved down so the airflow comes up. Either they've got like 18, 15 holes coming underneath it. It's all these nice barrel-y sort of styles. It's what's sort of coming out now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're getting fancy with their airflow. But again, like something like this, just simple slots on the side. This thing is fucking flavor machine. So I don't know. I think there's something to be said about the fancy airflows getting better flavor, perhaps. But I think also a lot of it has to do with it's kind of like the cycle that the Chinese mod makers are in right now. You know, everything is cycles. You know, we've got squonking is huge in the U.S., but I started squonking when no one in the U.S. knew what the fuck it was, and I was watching Dean the Vaping Biker and come on, Todd in his shed, and that's how I learned about squonking, but now it's big here. But I think everything is cyclical, and I think that I don't know whether or not the mods with the fancier airflow or the addies with the fancier airflow are going to catch on and be something permanent or not, though.
Big shout out to Kevin K. It was nice to see you, brother.
Yep.
Biscuit
Yeah,
vapes.
it's
is
obviously
that
it's
the
like mouth to
important
lung.
thing?
Mouth to lung, sort of. I was saying 6-7 months back, it's starting to come back a lot more nowadays, especially with the tanks that they're getting out there. The rebuildable side of it as well.
I think the pods have pushed, RTAs in that direction as well.
Yeah.
Because maybe more and more people are doing mouth to lung with the with the pods in particular, and the pods are huge. That is definitely, a quote unquote fad right now.
What's your thoughts on pod systems?
I don't like them, but I know that I hang out on the Stew Discord all the time, and we have a lot of Stooges that love their pods. Right now, the one going around the Stooge, I guess, Discord would be the Zero Pod. And if anyone in chat or any one of you guys come across my friend Poon Sauce McNasty, make sure you ask him what he thinks about his Zero Pod. That's all I'm going to say about that. But like Vapor Swaggins has like amazing fucking hemo mods, and he's constantly using his pods.
Yeah, but you got to think we are the preach too. We're already on that vaping journey, but I think the pod systems are a fantastic way for people.
If you get off smoking,
from cigarettes, especially over here in the UK, where there's no hassle, nothing, where you can just vape.
I tried my first Juul about maybe a month or two ago, and it was a friend of mine who had come over, and she's getting off the cigarettes, and she's using the Juul to quit. And I don't know what they put in their juice. I know that the salt nic level is like 50 milligrams, and I took a little puff off of it, and honestly, I coughed. I was like, whoa, But I mean, for getting someone off of cigarettes, I think it's great, But how much salt nic is too much? You want enough that they're going to actually want to vape versus smoke a cigarette, but then do you want to be vaping 50 milligrams salt nic all the time? I don't know.
Obviously, our sort of age group, you and me, our sort of age group, are the major ones that are going to be going from cigarettes to vaping, I think, really. And I think it's just fun, because I get a lot of them. Obviously, I'm from Yorkshire, so you get all this vaping, it's bloody terrible, all that stuff. Where this stuff is so simple, and I think they try them little tiny pens with the clearamides and all that. It just doesn't work for them. Get 2 or 3 of these, charge them up, take them out on a night out, or when you use them through the day. And I really do think it's going to get them off on the stinkies. And I think the next step, then they can go further to maybe another pod system like that, and then they can get onto maybe.
They might choose that, they just stick with a Juul, or whatever pod system they end up liking. They may go no further than that. Obviously we're all in the hobbyist world.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother step. But I don't think someone who just wants to quit smoking necessarily has to even go that far. And for someone like that, simpler is better. So you're right. I mean, what are you using, by the way?
That one's the Hex. That's quite nice, the Hex. And then I've got the Vim, what I use quite a lot. The other one that I use is where is it? I use the Spin It from Vaptail. That's good. I've also got the Just Fog. Actually.
Oh, and it flies.
It does.
Hey!
Wow.
The
Flying
Just Fog, that's good.
And you're using these primarily when you go out? Like, they're not sit-at-home vapes, are they?
I take them all over. This table is covered in stuff that I'm testing and juices. It's just how you are when you're reviewing stuff. So you're constantly swapping over, changing what you're actually doing, because you're constantly testing. The other one as well, what I like is the, which you can get this from all over. It's big tobacco though. Is the Vape.
I've got one of the original Vapes here. The first ones that ever came out about 3 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago.
He's charging.
Which one is that?
It's still got battery life in it. Look, haven't used this for about 3.5 years. Look, still working.
The pod is. We tested them at the London Vape Show for the Vape Finder. We were all reviewers there for it. You can buy them for £5.65 for 3. So if you were smoking, now that's gonna if you actually caning it all the time, you'd probably do 1 a day. So you're talking for £15 a week. Yeah, you're gonna be able to stop smoking.
Would you say that one pod, whatever the fill amount is
2 mil.
About one? So is that about a pack of cigarettes with the higher?
No. You're talking a pack of cigarette here is about £12, between £10 and £12. So if you bought, just say you bought 4 of them at 20, just say 20 quid, you're going to have like just over a week's where you would have spent most of them doing 20 fags a day. So that's over 70, nearly 80.
It's going to take a while to get used to that reference for the UK
Fag,
folks.
yeah, because you call it different. Yeah, cigs.
Yeah.
You're talking 80 odd quid.
Well, what are the laws in the UK as far as can you vape indoors? Or do you have to vape outside like in the smoking section? No, I'm glad you enjoyed that.
All depends what pub you're in or where you are. Obviously, they don't have it in restaurants, but if you go outside to smoke fags with other fags, look at him laughing because you've said it.
Well, because what you're saying is
you don't know,
it means something completely different here. So, but if you're smoking fags and you're happy,
we have a bum bag.
I support
we have
you.
A bum bag. See, you call your bums fannies.
Yes.
We call.
But I know what a bum is. A bum is your butt. I mean, that's
Yeah, but what's a fanny in your country?
Your ass.
Exactly. A fanny in our country is the front bum.
a fanny. Oh, I did not know that.
Yes. So a fanny in our country is down there.
We call that the nether region.
Well, we've been down there as well, but that's more near Iceland. I'll tell you what, get married for 12 years, it's sort of the same thing, it's just cold and wet. Yeah, funny in the UK is a funny.
Like a VJJ fanny?
Yeah, it's a Virginia. It's a golden Virginia.
Gotcha. Okay.
Look at him
Before we got on
12.
that topic, I was going to say that at least with those pod systems, like you can kind of do some stealth vaping with those.
You could, yeah. Obviously not in your fanny.
I had an issue because like you're not allowed to vape indoors in the city of Philadelphia, and I was on stage vaping because I don't follow the laws pretty much when it comes to that. But I got a lot of shit from the stage manager, and I was just like, wait, I can't vape on stage, but you've got 2 fog machines running on VG and PG.
Fuck.
But I can't. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Well, obviously, I sang for professional for 20 years from being 16. And I've travelled up and down this country and all over Europe. And when I first started vaping was in 2006 when the actual law came in Wales. It didn't come in here first. It went to Wales. They always test everything in Wales. That's why MoBro was born. So I started off with that pen. It just dried my throat out so bad. And it was terrible. And I went on to something a little bit different. I went on to the clearomizer a little bit later on. But that's where I first started. Yeah.
When I first started, this was a long time ago. I think it was 5 years ago. A long time in vaping is not really that long, I guess. But there was a company, and I don't know, they might even still be around, but it was called Green Smokes. And they were just cigalikes, and they had a great clove flavor, and that's what got me. Seeing as I liked to smoke cloves when I was younger, and then this country in their fucking corporate wisdom decided to make cloves illegal, and then the cloves became cigarellos. So they were wrapped in tobacco versus, paper. But they used to be these, black paper wrapped, dipped in sugar. They were amazing. And so Green Smokes had a great clove that actually tasted like a clove cigarette. And that's what got me into vaping. And then, then from there, it just got completely fucking batshit crazy. But I mean, I think we all need to start with something simple.
Did you go to tobacco first when you started vaping?
Tobacco flavor? No, I mean, honestly, the only reason I tried vaping in the first place was because I found this company that had a clove, and all the reviews were like beyond glowing. And I'm like, for however many dollars it was for, it was like 4 screw-on, fuck, I don't even know the nomenclature anymore for the old cigalikes. But, screw on the pod for less, for lack of a better word. It had like a battery, and it was like less than $20. And I fucking fell in love with that thing. And then they stopped making clove, and then so I started using their coffee vape, which was okay. And then I think I fell into, what was the first? I think my first mod was a 30-watt e-leaf, and I used to get these little dripping atomizers, but they're not like what we consider dripping atomizers. They were like little, I don't know, couldn't have even been 10 millimeters wide, probably something like that, maybe 16. But they were like these little super narrow stainless steel things with a coil in the bottom, no cotton, and you just gripped a couple drops in it, you vaped it, and you were done.
Yeah, I've seen those. I've saw those before.
So Kev Wilson. It is from Dr. Salt's, and it's just called Cider. I can't remember exactly. It's their the Juice Salon or Saloon. Sorry, Saloon. There you go. There's my dyslexia here. Which is funny.
So,
sentence.
Mike and Aidan, what was the first liquid that you ever vaped? Like
Peach.
after, if you guys say again.
The first liquid ever I
Flavour.
first went on to was a peach, and it was a non-named one. It was like a white label. But the first one that I fell in love with was Mokoyatsu Bolt. It was a spearmint. And it was my first review. I
Mokoyatsu,
absolutely loved it.
I remember them. Mike?
First liquid for me was Vampire Vapes Heisenberg.
Oh, yeah. I
Such a
still
great
vape that
name.
now.
I vaped that for months, and that's what the liquid that actually got me off of the fags.
What was
Got
the
that in there.
what was the flavor profile?
It's a blueberry menthol.
Yeah, it's really nice as well.
Well, Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, decent. I'll tell you what else I love from them at Vampire Vapes was the Parma Violets.
Oh no.
That was
Not
quite
a lot
nice.
of people liked it, but I loved it. Parma Violets.
Are you even human?
One of the first liquids that I vaped was like going after the original like 70 PG liquids back in the day when they were first coming out.
Back in the day when no one vaped under like 1 ohm. That was crazy.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
The first one of the first liquids I can remember vaping anyway was Shocker by Cosmic Fog. Was it Cosmic Fog? I think that was one of the first ones that I vaped. But back then, there was only 3 or 4 premium liquids that you could get. Premium. I hate using that word. But there was only three or 4 premium liquids that you could get back then. Yeah, that was nice. They did a milk and honey one as well, didn't they?
Yeah. With the nuts.
Yeah.
But they changed the actual, when all that diacetyl came out and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, 5 Pros got battered for it, and so did Cosmic Fog, and they sort of changed the flavour to it, and it would never tastes the same afterwards.
And honestly, I'm not saying to go and vape that, but the amount in their liquids was so minuscule compared to the amount to have like the only person that ever actually came down with a popcorn lung was a dude that worked in like literally. It was like a microwave popcorn factory, like, and it was just in the air, and he breathed in amounts that you literally couldn't get to if you vaped, so it was
dust,
I mean, but they still, all the reputable companies at least, stopped using, sorry, mind block.
Diacetyl.
Yeah.
Just 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, I think after I got fed up with the Vampire Vape stuff, I moved on to Tit Sauce.
Tit Sauce, yeah.
Yeah, and his was the first blue slush that I ever tried.
They do.
I had that at 36 milligram, 50/50.
Ooh, yeah. I think I started off on 24. I think I started off on 24 milligram. Yeah. I vaped 0 for a while, but it just wasn't doing it for me.
I did what you did. I started at 24 milligrams as well. But that was freebase.
Yeah,
freebase. Yeah. But yeah, Mike, they do Vampire Vapes Concept 19. They do an 80/20 version of the Heisenberg.
I can't touch Heisenberg now.
No, mate, it cleanses the soul. If you're ever feeling a bit rough, like you're feeling a bit ropey or whatever, vape Heisenberg fucking cleanses the soul, my friend.
It cleanses something. I don't know if it's the damn soul though.
Your sinuses, it does everything. It's good stuff.
No, I just cannot vape Heisenberg at all now. I probably vaped it so much that I just can't stand it now. Yeah.
I only vaped it for a little while. That's why, probably.
Yeah. You give me a blue slush flavour, and I'll vape that for weeks and weeks and weeks.
If you like your cold liquids, look at this.
Actually, come to think of it, I need to correct something I said earlier. That was the reason I started DIYing, because I couldn't find a clove I liked.
Look at that. See the top? This This is Arctic Blast from V-Juice, right? Look at the menthol crystal sitting on the top.
Jesus.
Can't really see them.
It's hard to pick it up. Can you
No, I
see?
can
Like,
see it.
the liquid is clear, and then
Yeah.
from there,
shit!
it's all
Oh.
menthol crystals.
Yeah, you might want to shake that before you use it.
Yeah, you have to, because it crystallizes on the inside of the bottle. If I turn it round, you could see it's all frosty at the top.
Oh shit! Yeah.
But look at that, Aiden. Look, that is a super cold menthol, and from
Shake
there
it
up,
up and see what it looks like.
it just goes into the liquid.
He's done
Yeah.
that
So
before.
it goes super cloudy now.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
like something you
if-
should put in your car.
If you leave it for
It
about
does-
2
it
hours,
looks like windshield
separates.
washer fluid.
Yeah,
It
no,
does.
it's stop it from icing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
what
it's
is it?
super cold. It's Arctic Blast from V-Juice.
Right, so what is actually the stuff at the top?
Menthol crystals.
Menthol crystals.
Sounds proper safe.
Super fine menthol crystals. They said that it wouldn't separate, but it does, and you guys.
Now that should have been called Heisenberg.
Oh man, alive! That is
Because
cold.
Breaking Bad was all about like the blue meth.
Yep.
It's like standing on top of a mountain, bollock naked in the middle of winter when it's snowing. That is how that vapes.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
What were your
super
balls
cold.
out?
Oh yes, balls out,
Would you
freshly
like-
shaven.
Would you like a peppermint vape?
Spare time now.
Oh, I love peppermint.
Do you guys know Mark Cloth? He makes
Yep.
those Warrior mods.
Yeah.
He makes a juice, and somebody in chat will hopefully save my life here because I don't remember the name of it. But I get migraines, and he sent me this peppermint juice. It's like sucking on a fucking peppermint Altoids. It's great, but it's a cold vape too, MoBro. You might like it.
The cheap ass menthol
I'm not.
stuff's brilliant.
That's the thing. I'm not massively into my. Like I like a little bit of Coolada just to take, add a little bit of freshness. But that is, I'll drip that before the end of the show, and I'll have a vape on it.
Oh,
That
I
is
love
going to
a
be
good
an
menthol.
experience.
So it gives you an headache. I love that.
I'll try it in a minute.
Drip
The
it and
thing
hit
is-
it at 200 watts, Matt says.
I'm using a potentiometer mod because that's all I use pretty much. But I'll whap it up a little bit before the end of the show, and I'll drip some of that
A
on.
prime example of what I was talking about earlier. I don't think that's a PWM mod. It has a potentiometer on it, but I doubt it's actually a true PWM pulse width
Yeah,
modulation.
it doesn't whine.
Variable voltage.
Yeah. I'll vape this shit in a minute.
Kevin K
Coil's
started
nearly
off
dry.
with a Volcano e-cig vape pen tank.
Sounds
Right, that
interesting. Right, let's vape some of this shit.
I've not heard of that one.
I gotta go find this peppermint juice. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
It's playing havoc with the brain. She's got to go and get the peppermint.
And I have
I
a dog
never
on my
get
lap.
brain freeze. I never get
Aw,
brain
look at the
freeze. I
doggy.
always get it in my throat for some reason.
So I'll tell you what, let's get chat moving a little bit as well. Tell us your favourite flavour. Get it stuck in chat. What's your flavour? Flavour.
The coils are still warm on this, and the vapor is burning my eyes.
It's burning my eyes.
my eyes. This is
I
gonna be
want some
horrible.
with my mum and my uncle Jeff. Mike, have we seen anything on the run of mechs?
Well, there's one mech that I
Stop
am
it.
saving up for at the moment.
That juice I was talking. I'm sorry. Sorry.
That is the Pure Wattage Germany is the company, and it's the Knights 21700 stacked kit.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saving up for at the moment,
how
and I
much
want
is that?
that in the red and white splatter.
How much is that?
£275
Jeez.
on Vaping 101. So, but it's a nice looking mod, and I want the drop dead bloody mess to sit on the top of that as well.
Right.
Oh, the blood splatter one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks lovely. That does. Looks
Yeah.
really nice.
Did either
yeah,
of you
I'm-
two get
I'm
anything
start-
good from on Black Friday or?
I've done no Black Friday shopping at the moment.
No, I don't either.
No,
but
I'm
Am I
no,
getting a new camera though?
I want to start getting more stacks and series mods.
Well, obviously you're all mech, aren't you? You're all mech.
Most of the time.
That's horrible.
What was it?
That's a review right there.
Ah. Oh, I can't.
What juice was it?
That was that
Nice.
stuff with the crystals in it.
The Arctic Blast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. Where's my Doom bat?
So I went and found that juice. It's again, it's Mark Cloth. It's called Witch's Brew, and it's called Wizard Ice. Oh wow, good job, folks. Okay, so I'm going to give up on trying to focus, but Wizard Ice is really good peppermint if you want to try it.
Oh, I love peppermint. Is it peppermint or spearmint?
No, it's peppermint. It tastes like an Altoids.
I really do love a good old peppermint.
Doesn't suck.
It doesn't
Ooh,
suck.
that is cold.
Good.
That is like vaping windscreen wash.
You know what? This is still such a great fucking Addy. Anybody have an Aeolus Light? An old Aeolus Light?
No.
They're the only ones that got top airflow like really, really right. And these things are still great Addies. I haven't used this in a bit.
So, Michele, if there's something brand new to come out, what would you sort of look down the roads of maybe some new innovative stuff that would be out?
Excuse me.
From like what I make or what I'm looking forward to other people make?
Anything.
I'm working on, so, most of these mods take me like 10 hours to make with and most of the work is not in the wiring. I don't know if you're going to see like all the cuts on the door, so that they fit.
Nice.
But I'm actually talking to Tenacious TX Vape Stan about getting a Chinese company to basically make me tins that are already cut up, right? So it'd be like a very plain tin with the Doldime logo on the front of it. And basically all I have to do is wire it up. So I'm thinking about if I can get some like that, right? I'll sell those mods. They'll be like a Doldime nickel or something like that. They'll be, fairly reasonably priced. And I'll still make, the ones that I actually hand carve up and, the ones that take me forever, to give out to people in the vape community. But that's something I'm thinking about doing. And the other is I made Dean the Vaping Biker a dual parallel squonker and fit it into a tin, which was not easy. But because
Well, you made a swanky yourself?
Yeah.
You had the bottle in the middle, didn't you?
Yeah, I had that. So what I did is it was a triple tray. The outside slots had batteries, and the center one had a squonk bottle in it. And I just, with my Dremel, I had to just basically cut the tray up massively so that everything fit. Had a little dual MOSFET switch on the top that was just kind of buried in there. I mean, it was crazy tight, but because that all fit, I'm going to probably make myself a triple parallel. And I just built for Stan a triple parallel build stand, and it just hits like a fucking Mack truck. So I want a Doldime with, a triple parallel Doldime. That's what I'm doing. Tarnished pennies, dire thing. I like that, dude.
There you go, Aiden. That's the pure wattage that I'm after.
Nice. So that's a stack.
Oh, man, that is nice.
So, yeah.
Who makes that?
Oh,
dear Lord, and that's in pounds.
Holy shit.
So what's that, like 350, 400 US dollars?
Yeah.
340.
That ain't going to leave the house, surely.
Yeah.
Who makes that?
Pure wattage. It's a German company.
So is it? Yeah.
So where did the
Nice,
actual
man.
name for Doldime come from? Doldime.
It came from a band I was in. I was in a band called the Wounded Healers, which if you look up on iTunes, you'll find it. But it's called the Wounded Healers, and one of the songs that we did was called Shiny Penny. And my friend Jess was the singer, and she wrote the songs in that band. And it was about being like stood up on a date or whatever, and she was the Shiny Penny. And so every time we would play it, I would always like kind of walk up while we were playing it, whisper in her ear, and I'm the Doldime. And it was just our like ongoing joke. And then I started booking shows under the Doldime name. Did that. I still do that. And then, so when it came time to build a mod, it was, of course, it had to be a Doldime. And it's Doldime is something that I came up with. I wanted to name the mods that because like I don't want to make shiny, fancy mods, that are like just, I don't want to make the same thing that everyone else is making. So a Doldime is something that's old. It's not perfect. The wiring is perfect, but the tins are never going to be perfect. They've been used, and some of them are really, really, really old. So I don't know. Doldime worked. You sorry you asked me that now?
No,
it's a catchy name as well. How
long have you actually been making mods?
Like 2 weeks now. No, I'm kidding.
So you're brand new to it?
Probably like 3-4 years now, I guess. Maybe 3. I don't know. Because, there's a bunch that I made for myself, like this one right here, before I started like giving them to people. The first mod that I gave away was Nick Green's Doldime number 1. And then I eventually built him a dual parallel, like something more like this one here. Trying to think who he has. I think he has the Heat Miser on his, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's amazing. And again, I can't believe it, Mike. I thought you might have actually tried something like that.
What, me making a mod?
Yeah.
I'll just make a mess.
You'd be prepared to cut yourself a lot when you make these because the tin is sharp as fuck. So even after every single cut you make, it's just sitting there with a fucking little micro file and filing off all the sharp edges, and it takes fucking forever. But they're like my little babies. And right now I'm kind of shitting myself because I've got 2 babies that are in limbo right now. One, you guys know Aziz, Kuwaiti Vapor?
Yep.
He's getting one of my mods, and it's been sitting in New York as they decide if it's something they can ship or not. And so it might actually be sent back to me, and we have to figure out a different way to get it to Kuwait. The other one is going to Sammy Nitro 5150, who's a coil builder and big supporter of the Stooge family. And he's up in Canada, Ontario. Mm-hmm. And their postal service is on strike.
Oh, nice.
So my mod's like in the wind, and it's like, it's pretty nerve wracking.
I've just posted a link to your Instagram as well in the chat in case anyone wants to check it out.
Thank you.
Check out Michele Doldime.
Yeah, follow me and get some links. Yeah.
If it came to me making a mod, I'd end up soldering myself to the mod.
There'd be big globs of solder shorting everything out.
Let me tell you something, though. The soldering is the biggest part of building a mod.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, I take a lot of pride that my solders are insanely clean. One cold joint, one solder that's not exactly perfect, and the resistance of that mod goes skyrocket. It skyrockets up. I mean, if your soldering is not fucking perfect, you're not going to have a hard-hitting mod, period.
Yeah. I mean, I've got
obviously years of experience of making them. Like I was saying, can people actually purchase these mods?
No. Of course not. That would make sense, and I wouldn't be so fucking broke. But no, they get my mods.
Dime.
What?
You'd have a bigger dull dime.
Yeah, I would. Yes, I think it was Dyer. I think someone, or maybe Vape and Irish, they joked that this one's worth 10 cents because I've got a fucking dime, epoxy to the switch on it. But no, I just make them for people that are doing more than their fair share in the vape community of, for advocacy and to help the community as a whole. That's who gets my mods. But if I can, get this thing to work out with Stan and get some mods or some tins that are pre-cut, then I will sell those. I don't know for how much. Stan is the man, and he's got a lot of Chinese contacts, and so if anyone can do it, he can. If Stan can't, which I doubt that's going to happen, but I'll talk to Mr. Just Right, because Joel also has a lot of really good contacts in China. And if I had to guess, I'm probably going to sell them somewhere between $100 and $200 for the ones that I don't have to sit and spend 10 hours cutting up. The ones that I cut up, one of the reasons I don't sell them is because I could never get enough money for them anyway. Honestly, I'd have to charge so much.
Surprised. I watch a lot of your live shows. You've been around a bit where I've been, and there's lots of people interested. I think you'd be quite surprised how many people, especially in the UK as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Big Boy Coil, Shane's going to get one. You guys know Shane?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the live stream when you told Shane that he was going to get one. He knew enough fell off his seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was on there. I think I was casting with him when you.
I think you were. I do.
Yeah. Crazy.
It was the
big Mad Vape show. Wasn't
Yeah, you know what? I feel
Mad
so
Up
bad.
is
'cause I
it?
always forget it, and I've been on that show a few times even, and I love both of them. But plus, yeah. Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
You know that one, Michelle.
What?
Oh, so Michelle Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter.
Saying,
Yeah,
I love
it'd be
Michelle.
way happy
I love
for her.
Michelle.
And like I said, there's plenty of people in the UK who like that sort of stuff. It's unique.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, as Michelle says, if you ever do sell any, let us know.
Oh, I will. But you know, I still add people to my list all the time who gets a mod. I feel like everyone I know is eventually going to get a mod from me if they're patient enough. So it's kind of the truth, you know. I'm up to 55 of these things now.
Bloody hell.
Which one's
Jesus.
Nick got?
Nick?
Yeah.
Nick's got an Altoids, isn't he?
He has, it's wintergreen. It's a blue one, but
Yes,
on
yeah.
his, he has the little boy from A Christmas Story, where he would like lick the pole and his tongue got stuck because it was, frozen.
Yeah.
So he has the one with the
love
little
that
boy.
film.
Yeah, it's a great film. It really is, especially around Christmas
Set in the
time.
50s, wasn't it? And he wanted the BB gun.
Yeah, you'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah. I love that film. And actually, I didn't realise it was actually released in the 90s. Or late 80s.
Yeah. It was supposed to be about a family in the 50s, but it came out like in the 90s sometime, late 90s maybe. Saint Cunty McFuckoff, no, I love your name, but
That isn't the best YouTube name.
oh
by the
shit!
way. I've seen a
Somebody
better
mentioned
one.
something in chat. Sorry. If you want one of my mods, and you're not one of those people that is a huge vape advocate, you still have a chance. I have a Patreon account, and my patrons help me to make these mods because again, I don't make any money on them, and I still have to buy a lot of parts for them that cost a lot of money. I mean, this giant washer underneath the 510, which I use as a heat sink. Each one of those are like $7. I mean, so there's more than $50 of parts that go into each one of these, not including any of my labor. So my Patreons help with that. And then what I'm going to do is when my Patreon account is 1 year old, I'm going to have a raffle and give a Dole Dime to one of my Patreons.
Nice.
And that's if you want to check it out, it's just go to Patreon and search Dole Dime. It's that easy.
I think that's something that somebody should just go on to Biscuit Vapes. We have spoke to Jay on the Vape UK network. It'd be lovely to get sort of a channel going where somebody such as yourself shows people how to build things.
Yeah, but I have a YouTube channel that has over 1,000 videos on it, and it's mostly just my music and stuff like that. If you go back far enough, you can find some of my old like in-car racing videos. Because I used to race cars, and there's like maybe 1, maybe 2 vape videos on my channel. So
Yeah, I got shut down
I don't
by
know.
the police for racing cars.
What?
No, I'm joking. I didn't.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
I would say I got shut down by the police.
Oh no, I was racing on a
Cars,
track
so
and
I would
all
say I'm
that.
joking. I can never fit in them.
I used to race. I started karting, but real karts, not little fun karts. 90-mile-an-hour direct drive karting, and then I moved on to SCCA stuff. Like Formula Ford, Formula Dodge, Formula 2000, and then the last 10 years of my racing. So I've raced for 20 years. The last 10 years I did vintage stuff, and I started with a 58 356 Porsche 356, and I hated that because I had always raced like purpose-built race cars. And when you take a street car, even an old one, and you make it into a race car, they never handle like race cars. So I didn't keep that more than a year after restoring it for 2. It was really stupid. And then I got a 1959 Elva Formula Junior, which I absolutely loved. Had a really bad crash out in California in that one. That's why my vocal cords were scarred. And anyway, that's a whole another story. And then the last thing I raced was a 1977 Merlin Formula Ford. But Merlins and Elvas were made in what country? It's an easy one for you guys. The UK.
Was it? Say that
Oh,
again.
the
What were they
English
called?
make the best formula cars. Honestly, England is where if you want a formula car, you get something that was made in the UK because you guys are honestly when it comes to formula cars, you guys are
You know,
the
like
best.
rally cars. You know about rally cars?
I've never rallied, although those guys are fucking crazy, and I'd love to
You
do
would
it.
not believe the best rally cars around here for a lot of years was Skoda. And
I believe it.
And if you had a Skoda in the 80s, you were frowned upon.
Wasn't it? What was it?
Rally cars.
I'm trying to remember the dude's name from Sweden. Used to drive a Skoda.
And now they're owned by Volkswagen. So you get the Octavia that does about 60 miles per gallon.
We don't have those here. But I know the name because I used to watch rallying on TV. But I retired several years ago, and since I retired, I can't watch racing on TV. It just makes me too fucking sad because I really enjoyed it and I miss it. Also, can't afford it.
I'm not a massive sort of like Formula One or all that. I've never have been.
Oh, thank you, Mad Hatter.
I love Formula One.
I used to follow it religiously.
I do. I still do. I've done it since I was a kid.
The only motorsport I watch is motocross.
Oh, yeah.
Father-in-law loves MotoGP. I have to get involved with that.
Oh, God, yeah. That's some great racing. If my brain was working, which it's not, I could actually, tell you who my favorite GP driver ever.
MotoGP, which...
Yeah.
Was it the Doctor?
Yeah. 46.
Rossi.
Yes, thank you. Rossi is amazing. But then, and I actually got to meet, what was his name? The American...
Nicky Hayden.
Yeah, Nicky Hayden, and he passed.
Penrose.
Yeah, Rossi came second in a race with two broken
me and the father-in-law, he absolutely hates football. Now, I'm a football man. So we have to talk a little bit about football, and then we have to talk a little about MotoGP. So I have to watch some of it. But I was always for the outsiders, me. And there were a bloke called West, and he came last nearly for every time, but I'm just so rooted for him.
I can't stand
talking
football.
about that, ladies and gentlemen, I have been voted or nominated in the top 10 reviewers channel.
Yeah.
I am Hagtash, the underdog, so please get yourself over there and drop me a vote if you've not voted for all them big uns. Think about the little boy.
Sorry, Michelle, can you type your Patreon link in the Zoom room chat and then I'll copy and paste it into the...
I don't know it.
Chat.
Vapor Bunny, who is a massive, massive motorbike fan. She follows all of it. Love you loads. Obviously, there's been quite a number of deaths as well on the TT. As well, it's been absolutely mad over there this year.
Oh man, that is one of the most insane looking races. You talking about the Isle of Man?
Yeah.
I mean those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And have giant cojones.
Oh yeah.
Was it one of Bunny will tell me, I think was it one of the Dunlops who died this year?
You mean the guys that are famous for racing at the Isle of Man?
Yeah, Dunlops who were massively
Yeah. And someone passed?
One of them died this year, I think.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's just massive over there. Absolutely massive. And you get so many stars going over there. Do you know vaping? You can do whatever you want over there.
Hey,
and all.
Can you guys, if you can make, you know what? I don't think we can because we don't know how to make wrenches right now. But Daniel from DJLSB Vapes said he could post the link.
I personally can't do it, but I know Mike might be able to.
No, I can't.
No, I don't. Mike can't. I think maybe Nick had that power.
Yeah, he hasn't passed the power over yet.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Are you actually signed in on the Super Awesome Vape Show
no.
page itself? No? Right. Yeah, it's only Nick that can do it then.
Phil Lee, I used to marshal at all the motorcycle racings from Schoolboy.
Oh, wow. Up to Isle of Man.
Wicked. I know lots of people who actually do it, or friends of the father-in-law who does it, who just go there do it for nothing, but they disappear for weeks upon end, and they get all the beer free, they get all the accommodation, and the martial.
Yeah, they do a Manx TT as well, don't they? For the other people, not the main competitors of the TT.
Yeah, the father-in-law's been round. They let normal people go round.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle Mad Hatter. Your link is in chat now.
Oh. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Mad Hatter.
Thanks.
Thanks, bang tidy.
Bang tidy.
Yeah,
Thanks for putting link in chat.
Chat, it's done there. It's nice.
I just love watching the freestyle motocross.
Well, we got some, obviously, you know, at the Birmingham NAC, we got some free tickets to go there. My son won, what are they called? You know, where all Americans come across and start doing all them jumps and spinning round and all that.
Freestyle motocross.
Yeah, but we got some tickets to Sheffield, but he was poorly, and he couldn't go to it. He won it. We loved it. The bloke actually come off his bike. He must have been like, 40 foot up. Didn't quite catch the back of it.
Yep.
Bang, straight down.
Was he doing a Superman, I think they call it?
Yeah, something like Superman, and he didn't catch it. Bang.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, those boys are nuts.
Yeah, Supercross. That's what's called.
I haven't seen him.
But you guys
ages.
also have Rallycross in the UK, right? You still have that? Like where like the two rally cars are like on a closed track. And, yeah. That's pretty cool.
James McDonough, I used to love that program. Kickstart.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys had like the best fucking auto show on the planet. You guys kidding? Like Top Gear? Old Top Gear?
The old
Top Gear, yeah.
Old Top Gear. Now you have to go to Amazon and watch the Grand Tour.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Top Gear was those guys. Period.
Yeah.
It's just some three people just really clicked, and I don't think you'd ever be able to change them.
Yeah, and just say the dumbest, really, Michele? They say the dumbest, racist, but they get away with it because it's funny.
Yeah, a lot of them sort of shows are brilliant. It obviously got like you said, what was that other one? They used to have real motocross. I had a relation going it as well in 80s. Superstar something, right?
Oh Christ! It
was Superstar something. They did a lot of motocross.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it now.
Yeah,
it's a long time ago. I have trouble.
Just going on to a little bit more about vaping. Michele, what's your thoughts on Page pushing all this now of stopping people doing clones?
Oh,
reviewing them more.
Yeah, and people are getting copyright strikes for reviewing clones. I don't get it, honestly, because purge mods are super expensive mods, and if someone can't afford one and they want to review a clone of it so that people can go and get one themselves, I mean, the copyright strike shouldn't be against the person reviewing the clone. It should be against the person making the clone. And since they're made in China, and the Chinese don't give a rat's ass about copyright laws from any other country but their own, I guess they have to get on someone's ass about it. But it's unfair because they're hitting the little dog to try to affect the alpha, and it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's right.
You just hit the nail on the head. Mark, my brother, he got a solo. He got a strike for it, and what he did a couple of the clones. But like I said to him, if he'd have done it on, say, VapeTube, or if he'd just put it on his own website, they would have had to then go to court to take Mark to take that down. But because you've obviously gone on YouTube and you've broke their copyright law, that's where it came from. But
YouTube gets out of control. It's too easy because I've gotten copyrights claims and strikes against me with my own fucking music that I own.
Because own music.
Yeah, my own music. And I had to what's it called when they give you a strike and then you can
appeal it? Yeah.
Appeal it. I had to appeal twice the last time.
But this they're bringing out this Article 13 thing now, YouTube, which is even if you are a creator of the music, even if you're doing covers of music, then you can get copyright strikes and get your channel removed.
But you shouldn't get crap if it's your own fucking original music.
Exactly.
Now, if I sat down there and sung a cover of just say The Commitments, Try a Little Tenderness, then you can get done because it's not my music.
But if you're doing a cover of it and doing your own spin on it, surely
you can't do a spin on it. It's still copyright.
But you know what? You should be able to do it, but not monetize the video. If you're covering someone else's music, you shouldn't be able to monetize it. You shouldn't be able to make money off of someone else's creativity. But covering a song and not monetizing it, I don't see where that should be a problem. However, you would get a copyright strike.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
got absolutely hammered. We stuck a video with, I think it was at Jam. You know, actually me going around filming and the music put up. But
yeah, that'll always get you one. You got to mute that.
Give me a strike for it. What they said to me was if the person whose music it is said to you that you can't use it, then they'll come back to you. So I just left it. And
yeah. Well, a lot of times, as long as it's demonetized, you're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like back in the Vapor Expo in October, I started doing a live stream, and I think it was within 15 or 20 seconds, it said this video will not be uploaded to Facebook because it contains copyrighted music. And that was just as I walked past the stand. It stopped the live stream. I was like, cheers, Facebook. It's good shit. So, like, what do you have to do to thing? You got to like talk over the music every time you walk past the stand.
I think there needs to come up with a happy medium. There is the people who are just streaming music, which you shouldn't be able to do. I can understand that because it takes away from the artist. I totally understand that, and it's the same as people. It's like me. I obviously run an entertainment company, and I've got so many DJs that work with me, but they all have to have a digital download, and they all have to pay for the copyrighted music. If not, they're not sent out. There's none of this downloading off of Pirate Bay and all the other places. You've got to support the musician who's doing it. But then there's got to be the other side of it. If somebody sat down there and they do sing a cover of it, I don't think that's a problem.
But as far as the music in the background goes, and I mean, I know where it's coming from. It's because, like, let's say my music is in the background of a TV show. I better be getting royalties for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you're talking about something that has a much higher view count when it's a TV show or something like versus a YouTube video. Now, some are viewed more than others, but, you know, if you end up getting like a couple thousand views on it, like, does it really matter that there's some music in the background at a convention? It's not something you can help, but I think that what's expected, you're expected to mute that and put some kind of royalty-free crap over it.
But it's like my older brother runs a car garage, right? And the mechanics there, they've got a radio on in the background listening to music. They had to apply for a license because public could walk into the premises and hear the music playing.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, they had to actually apply for a license to listen to music while they were working.
I'm going to see.
Yeah, all my coaches are covered by a PRS music license.
It's madness. I think that came in, well, relatively, not many years ago. I think 5-6 years ago, perhaps. Something like that.
Somebody, I guess, Phil Lee, said most of Celine Dion's tracks are covers. Yes, but her publishing company and her label pay for the rights, pay royalties on that. That's why that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
that's one of the reasons on my channel I have a monthly subscription to a royalty-free music.
Yeah, I do as well now. Yeah, after you brought it to my attention a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll pay £10 a month, and I can off of this one site I can download what the hell I want and use it, and I don't get any copyright claims or strikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but you can get that from YouTube anyway, and there's plenty of other sites that you can get it from.
Yeah, but I just like this site that I use because they do plenty of rock music.
But I did a video from a vape meet this time last year in a vape shop, and I used I put a music track over like a compilation of clips that I took from the night. And the guy that owned the music or created the music emailed me and said, you need to credit me for the music and the video.
Yeah.
But I said it's already done. YouTube had automatically put like a little, those little annotation boxes that you can put in the top right. It automatically did that. And I said, if you watch the video again, there's now a little annotation which is a link to your site.
Mm-hmm.
But you could give them a link in the description, right?
Yeah, but I got that through a royalty-free music site, and it was already owned by this guy. So
I had it. Obviously, it came through me actual program that I used to do my music. You can get it for free for 7 or 12 days. Download as much as you want, and I had exactly the same. But I just ignored it. Put the ignore bit in, and it can't come back to you because you've already purchased it.
Yeah, that's the exact same site I use, Daniel.
That's the one I use as well. Yeah,
Epidemic Sound. Yeah.
But do you guys remember the 24-hour suicide prevention live stream that I did with Ken and Jared.
Yeah, I was on there as well.
Oh, wait, Mike, were you on too?
I was, towards the end.
Mike was as
Honestly,
well,
I don't remember a whole lot from that entire thing. Only thing I remember is playing Guess Your Age with Ruby Roo at like 3 a.m. our time. But I wanted to use my song Hope on that, but I had just finished battling with YouTube over crap of using my own music, so we didn't end up using it. But I mean, like, literally that song is about, working to, curb the
Why can't you use your own music?
Well, because I was worried it was going to get flagged, and I just didn't want to.
For what? If it's yours, then.
Well, that's the thing, because my own video, which had come out right before that, and I got hit with copyright crap about, was my own music, and so I didn't want that to happen with the live stream.
Why are they saying it's not your music? Then who's saying that it's?
They said because my music was distributed to all these electronic services by disc makers. And apparently disc makers own CD Baby, and CD Baby, because they have my music, they sell my music. It was actually coming from CD Baby. And so, I mean, it was a bit of a pain in the ass.
Must be having a percentage of your royalties then.
No, they're supposed to give me royalties.
Yeah, but they've got a percentage of your music.
No, they don't. That's the thing. If they sell my music, I get paid.
Yeah, but they must take.
But they're not supposed to track. But disc makers is, and I think because disc makers own CD Baby, I think that's what happened. I'm honestly not 100% sure.
We recorded quite a number of stuff with the record company, and they obviously owned a part of our music because they actually distributed it. They have a percentage of your music, so that's
like disc makers gets a fee.
You'll use your own.
Oh yeah, talking about the suicide prevention thing, me and Chris, Empire Vape Co, we're organising one for next year.
Oh wow, that's awesome, guys!
A UK one. So
count me in, dude. I will pop in or out as much as or as little as you want.
Yeah, so I think me and Chris are going to do the full 24 hours, and then we're going to try and line up guests and everything to get on there. So
also, there's a Vape UK network. They've actually got the for Mind as well. They're doing a Christmas stuff, so get yourself on. Tomorrow we have got on the Late Vape Show, if you want to call yourself in there at about 10 while 12. We've got Tony B on there, so bring yourself down and come and have a little look. But anything to do with mental illness, I back it completely.
Yeah,
and Ken did a great job. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so we're doing one next year for suicide prevention and awareness, like a UK one. So
that would be good. That would be amazing, guys.
Well, so put me down for that one, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to create a list up, and me and Chris will be chatting. It won't be until sort of the same sort of time, like October time next year. So it's a way off at the moment. My
favorite part of our 24-hour live stream was that we had a lot of reviewers on, and we had reviewers, again, for lack of better words to describe this, they're on opposite ends of the vape world. There are people that had drama between them, and everyone dropped their drama for the live stream.
Yeah.
And it was nice and respectful, and how it should be. God forbid we could be respectful to each other when we're not doing something like that, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was going to work when it was my turn to go on. But I did put a giveaway in there, and it was sent out. I think we got a free
you did. I remember that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, Ken's a good mate. I did come on I didn't obviously go on the show, but I did come into your live cast the other week when you had the gentleman on from Australia who was a really nice bloke.
Oh, I can't remember his name now. God damn it.
He was a right nice bloke, and he was explaining what was happening in the south of Australia.
Yeah, some crazy ass shit is happening in Australia when it comes to vaping.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it makes the shit we're going through here in the U.S. look like nothing. I mean, vaping is considered, I forget what it was, but it's like a scheduled drug. They want to make it, basically.
Yeah. Well, nicotine is over there, isn't it? It's a drug over there.
Yeah.
And that I think he was saying that it goes from somebody in 18 something drank about 3 pints of it and it made him poorly.
Vaping Irish said it was Labworks. That's who was on.
Yeah, right nice bloke as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Ken because at the time he was actually playing with his widget.
What?
Now, another word for
widget. What Ken was doing was playing? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, he was playing with his widget. He was
That's
doing
right.
that thing where
He had a
made it look like
kazoo.
little Elvis.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had a kazoo. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the bottom.
Jared singing as well. I was well impressed.
Yeah.
Jared and Ken can sing, man.
Oh, definitely.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What we need
preferred
is
it
we
in
need
sign language.
we need Ken and Jared to do a gig together.
Oh yeah, and Michele could play bass.
Oh yeah.
Give it the old slap and
Yeah.
Tickle.
slap and tickle.
No,
I,
a nice little bit of tickle.
Oh yes.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Me as well.
I totally
It's that
forgot.
lovely time of the evening. Well, people, it's been a fantastic show. Thank you very much. Obviously, we have been missing the wonderful Nick. Well, mate, I hope you're off the toilet. He will be watching.
Yep.
Obviously, the Badger's not been around for a little while. He's got a problem with his computer in his shed. Are we allowed to say shed, Mike?
Not a shed.
Yeah, it's all right. He won't be on at the moment, so you can say shed as much as you want.
Ched.
Shed. Say bauble 5 times.
Huh?
Bauble.
Bobble.
See, it's a fat bloke's word.
Bobble. What?
It's a fat bloke's word. I've been trying to collect fat people's words.
Oh,
What?
People's
Well,
words.
obviously, bubbly is a fat person's word.
Is it?
Yeah, bubbly.
Bubbly.
You're a bubbly person. You've got a bubbly personality. You're a fat person. And then also chuckle. I found out chuckle is a fat person's word. I don't think thin people chuckle. I think thin people laugh, but fat people chuckle.
you have to give it the old.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's where I've also found out about bauble. Because obviously bauble, if you say it 5 times, bubble, sounds like when you're walking. You know, like a fat person walking. It does sound bauble-ish, doesn't it? Bauble. You know that bit when you're getting your legs to say, I'll let you pass, let me pass, let you pass, let me pass. That's fatness.
I must admit, whenever I walk, I don't sound like bubble. To me, when I walk, it sounds like an earthquake.
Yeah, farting and walking.
Come on, focus. Sorry, Mark.
Oh,
Mark
I love
jumped
a
into
good
the
fart when you walk. You feel better, don't you? It's like you've hit two birds with one stone, in it. You've got rid of the wind, but you've got rid of your itchy arse as well.
Yeah, well, it's literally
Oh,
killing
thank you.
It's literally killing
It's the
2
same as
birds
when
with
you-
1 stone when you have a shot.
I got
Oh,
shooty
yeah.
ass today. It feels like a sat on the stiletto.
It's the same as when you go to like some sort of like mall. I'm saying mall now. I'm not even American. When you go to a shopping centre or something like that, and you stood there, and you know there's millions of people behind you. You've got a right itchy arse. You try to make your bum cheeks go like that.
Yeah.
I've watched loads of people do that dance as well. You know, like that. Like the dancing.
Pippin Irish says it's like being called it's like calling someone big boned.
Big boned, yeah, big bone. Another one, big boned. You're not,
Not
fat. You're just
fat, I
big
have
boned.
big
No,
bones.
I'm fat. The big bones I've been using are from KFC.
Nice. Loves a KFC.
How many other fat words can we get in here? Again, remember, we are not snowflakes in here. You're all right.
All right, I'm gonna try to think about this because I don't actually know any.
I don't know any.
Let's think of fat people words. Obviously, we're not trying to offend fat people. I am one, so I'm embracing my fatness.
Yep.
Lard.
I resemble that comment as
Lard.
well.
Lard is another. Yeah, I can get with lard. But you can't get better chips than lard. You know when you actually when you make chips with lard. Jolly, yeah, jolly. Husky.
It's like my old man used to eat dripping sandwiches. What?
Dripping's lovely, mate. It's the world. I've tasted it. It's the future. Dig that do.
I hate to say it, but I mean it's almost
Husky's
like
a
something
dog,
as
it's not
simple as
fat. Husky's
Here,
one of them women as well that sit at the end of a bar going, "Hey, do you want to?" I can't say that word either, Aiden. Stop it. Hey, do you want to kiss me or do you want to?
Aiden, ask me. Just you can make up the name. Just ask me about a fictitious woman. Just give me a woman's name.
Margaret.
Oh, she's really nice. That means
Yeah.
she's heavy.
Really nice means she's plain. That means she's not really, she's not got a personality about her. You're going to be able to take her out. She's going to have a salad. You know, eventually when you leave her, you're going to have to wave her and her dad picks her up. And she's 43. She hasn't left home.
Sounds like you're talking about something for someone very specifically.
No, it's just somebody who's called Margaret. The best thing about it, bro, well, she brought her own little toys as well. She already been to Mackie D's.
It's like, as Michelle says there, I'll go
Hiya,
over to
Holic.
visit. I'll go over to visit Michelle. One of her kids farts. I just ask, "Are you challenging?" The look of fear in those poor kids' face is unreal.
It's like that Family Guy thing where they're fighting in the cubicle, isn't it? It's like burp, 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 burp.
I'm 24 stone. I know all the names. You're not on your own. I'm 18 stone. 6 foot tall, 18 stone. I know exactly the names.
I used to be 24
Has
stone.
a great personality. That's another fat one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Has a great personality. Not like Margaret. Margaret's not got a great personality.
Margaret doesn't have such a great personality. She can be a bit snobbish.
Yeah, but she just didn't. She didn't do it. No, yeah. When you talk to somebody, you need that.
Yeah, but if you think about the things that happened when Margaret was a child,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean-
you can get deep into that.
yeah. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. We're just
Especially when I
making
walked
this
in
shit
the
up.
basement. I forgot to tell you her second name was Fritz.
Margaret has one of those twins, but it's like on her stomach, like it just has like a face on her belly, and it's like her symbiotic twin or whatever the fuck they're called.
What's that from? Total Recall.
I don't know.
Touch
Probably
my
something I saw.
hands. Touch my hands. Whoa! I just come for a date. We're in Nando's. Don't start getting that shit out.
Get your ass to Mars.
We're gonna get barred. Oi! I've just bought them. Honestly, you've had 2 Fosters, and now you're trying to get us barred. I'll drink them both. So we're leaving. We're leaving.
Yeah.
I'm having a chicken. We're not leaving that. I'm having a chicken. Even if it's some spicy wings you don't really like, but you just carry on eating because they're there.
Oh shit, that is a good one. Phil Lee and Irish both said cuddly.
Cuddly? I don't mind being cuddly, though.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being cuddly. Someone says, now you're fluffy.
I am a bit fluffy. Do you know where he gets that from? He gets that from my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter goes, hey, you're all fluffy.
Bear is one.
But in the U.S., a bear is a subculture of gay men, and they're like a bear is like a very heavy set, very bearded, big dude. That's a bear, and he usually has a cub, which is his little boyfriend.
People in America used to just put like
American Pie.
You know, them bandanas.
Bear off American Pie.
Bandana?
A bandana just hanging off the jeans. You know which sort of.
I've never heard of that. Sorry.
Just me. I watch too much TV. I am a bit of a bear. I thought they had bandanas. I thought they had like a bandana that used to hang at the end.
Maybe in the 70s?
See, I was just going to say 70s. What was that gang film in 70s?
I don't know.
There is a big bearded gay man here too.
Thanks, Jules.
Steve, I never said a thing, son. Honestly. That's her husband, by the way, who's a big bearded man.
Hang on a minute, Mike.
Right fucking Nemo.
Low flying blimp.
Martin Horton, my boss just calls me a beast. Honestly, mate, nowadays you'll be able to get a claim in. Honestly, that is disgusting. Just say I'm not fat, I'm just big boned and I'm happy.
That white stuff?
There you go, DE. That's my cotton of choice.
It's not because you got it free at thingy. I got one as well.
I get this free, but I do love it. I genuinely love this.
Somewhere around, I've got about another 10 packs of the stuff.
All
Is
right.
that a tampon you had in your hand?
Oh, yeah.
It looked like you had a tampon in your hand. Yeah, a tampon.
See, Andy Summerfield, I was right. Look at Vaping Irish, he knows it. Gaming hang bandanas is a code for what sexual act / kinks they're into.
Well, Irish, as you know, I'm a lesbian, and I've never heard of that, but I'm not a gay man, so...
No, I did hear about it before. I knew all right.
So what color bandana do you hang when you go to the gay bars, then?
I have all of them. Whatever you can get, I'm there. Whips, chains, candle wicks on the nipples, I'm there, baby. Don't you worry about it. It can be a bear, it can be a Care Bear.
You need to get yourself a cub.
What are you shaking your head at? Neither do you.
Yeah, Biscuit. Grim Green did vape on a tampon.
Oh, that must have been horrible.
Also, Enders in our Discord group. Enders or Ender's other game, as you may have seen him in chat, he vaped a tampon. Apparently, it wasn't bad. And I don't really see why it would be, because
I hate to say this, but obviously it wasn't used.
No, oh well, come on. Only vampires vape that.
Well, no, unless you like Red Astaire.
Vampires either vape it or use it as a tea bag.
Teabagging is a different thing as well. Is it the same thing over your end or ours?
Probably.
That's the last thing my wife ever wants to see is teabagging.
Like, if you don't want to be known for teabagging.
18 stone of air trying to sit on a face. That's just not good, is it?
That's teabagging, all right.
Yeah, it definitely is and all. I should have. Can you imagine that? Even the own thought of my own ball bag trying to drip in her own mouth is just not a thing you want to think of.
Does that mean when you wake up in the morning and you ask your missus if she wants a cup of tea, she says as long as it ain't a Yorkshire tea?
Oh, what do you mean Yorkshire tea's really good, son? Yorkshire tea was when I were in my teens. That's what it was. Now I'm a little bit more one dip.
Oh, thank you, Keith. I appreciate that.
All right. I'm not being funny. I'm going to have to call it.
What one dip?
As well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's come to the point of the show where we're going to have to leave. Thank you very much to everybody. Our special guest. We will go straight over to the one and only MoBro.
Thank you for having me on. It is a pleasure, as always. Nice to be back as well. Like Aidan said, I am like one of the ornaments on your nan's mantelpiece. I'm always there, but no one pays attention. I love you all.
G-class now, then.
Yeah, the nan's clock. But it's been a pleasure to be back on Savs once again. And thank you to everybody in chat and everyone on the panel. Michele, Mike, and Aidan, it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to be back on Savs yet again. I will see you very soon, peoples.
We'll go straight over to the one and only Michele, who's been absolutely fantastic.
Well, I appreciate being on the show. Aidan, thank you. Mike, thank you. And Elf on the Shelf, thank you as well.
Elf on the Shelf.
Elf on the Shelf. He said it himself.
Elf on the Shelf.
Seriously, it was great being back on Savs. I love the show. I love the UK chat. It's always hilarious. And, just follow me around the internet. Instagram, it says Michele_Lynn_Dull Follow me on Facebook. Check out my Patreon if you're interested in helping out and maybe winning a mod. And, of course, check out my music, michelelynn.bandcamp.com or iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to music. It's up there, I'm sure. And the album is called Villa Mod. Any money from album sales, as always, goes to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I think that is about it. And oh, yes, there's my album. And also, this is really bad. Please check out our show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is plus 5 hours, is 10 and 3 is 1 a.m. in the UK. So maybe don't bother checking out the Vape show.
Good show. No, we're all about. I watch it all the time. Great show.
But yeah, check it out. Well, beloved Dub. And I'll pass it off to Mike.
Well, thanks everyone for watching again. Thank you, Michele, for coming on, and thank you, Mo, as well. Thanks all in chat for coming. Michele, keep making them mods because they are the dog's doodahs.
I will.
And we'll see you all next week, hopefully. And sorry for having to cut it short, but I do have to be up at dawn's crack again.
Lucky woman.
Yeah, same here.
She's a lucky girl, that Dawn. She's had me getting up there at that crack every fucking morning for 20 years.
Fair play.
The trouble is, she just doesn't like the toast.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Sabs, baby. It is the Sunday night. It's the only place to be between, I would say, yeah, we're all right. 7 while 12 last week. No, 7 while 10. We are missing the wonderful Nick. We will see him next week. Also, hopefully, we might have Jay. He might nip on the phone or something. We hope to have him back.
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been absolutely fantastic. We've got the wonderful Michele, MoBro, and Mike. We love you loads. This is the Sabs. We will see you next week. Keep cheery, keep happy, and we love you. Good night.